Alrighty, just going to show you how I go about creating NPCs. I have the core content module enabled, and this is from Fantasy Adversaries. I'm going to do the rattling NPCs. So vehicle is the only one that's different. These other ones here produce a different set of base items. So creating rattling, and I'm going to create him in the core creatures adversaries other folder. So that'll be in there with the Void Templar, which is from the sci-fi adversaries. Unlike these ones, which are all from the core rules. Okie doke. First thing, it is an ancestral foe. Ancestral, we'll just leave career as rattling so you can rename individual ones, and then we'll change this to foe. Of course, even after creation you can change this to others, adversary or archenemy or minion, and it will change their behavior in the system. Good enough. So the next thing that needs to be done, or the first thing that needs to be done, is sorting out their attributes. No, it isn't. The first thing is the description, which we have here. So copy that, not into plain text, we'll do it in the rich text. Paste that in. Rattling is a heading 3. Ancestral is always in italic. Foe is bold. GM's notes are bold. Use cases are bold. And then we need to join these lines. And we are good to go. Now we can minimize that. Alright, here's the containers. We're not going to make these guys arch enemies, so we can remove PL4. For some reason these things all deploy with thinking that they have items deployed, so we'll just remove those to clear that up. And we're going to put these, lay these out here so that I still have access to this section over here. Alright, attributes and skills. First things first, when we look at the thing here, there is no fate. So we can just copy fate over, and the social never changes. It's always the default values. So we can just copy that over too. And when we're done with it, we delete it. Mental, on the other hand, I'm just going to put it over here so I can use it. So mental, we start with 1, 3, 3, 1. 1, 3, 3, and 1. And perception 1, reaction 3. Okay. Then we can drag that onto PL1. Then we have 1, 4, 4, 1. And perception reaction 3 stay the same. 1, 5, 5, 1 for PL3. and reaction goes to 4. And then we're done with mental. Physical. One, 4, 4, 3. And we have bows 2. Small blades. It's actually short blades, not small blades. Dodge 2. Stealth 2. Two, 5, 5, 4. And we add hand to hand at 1. Then we have bows at 2, small blades at 2. Dodge and stealth 3 each. Then we have 2, 6, 6, 5, 2, 6, 6, 5. Bows goes to 3, small blades goes to 3. Dodge and stealth stay at 3. Then we can delete physical. Alright, we're pretty much done with this tab. So the way these things work is when you deploy them, it deploys those items, and then your abilities are filled in and so on. And oh, right, and let's deploy the PL2 ones. Go to the, and you can see which one has deployed items, so that you know what PL it's set at. And you have to remember to change the PL when you put in PL2 or PL3 items. Alright, so we need to create the abilities and so on. So we'll start with strength in numbers. Strength in numbers is a new one. So we need to create that one from scratch. So we go to items, core content, abilities. I think alternate thrower is an ability and it's a physical ability. Good. So we will simply duplicate that one and then get it out of there. Because we're not going to include this in the core content. And you see that's the way I'm formatting it, with any special instructions at the bottom. Alright, and we need to change the name. Good enough, so that's done, except what's the description? Whenever you attack an engaged defender subject to total engagement, you also receive a level 2 bonus set. Okay, so that's a modifier and it's conditional, not always on. So we'll have it reset after each roll and just flag it as a condition. Now, bonus set at bonus underscore set underscore 2. And it is 2 attacks. None specific, just all attacks. Good enough. So we close that, and then we, whoops, here's what we need to check. let's go back to the rattling. So, ability strength in numbers is at PL1 and it's never removed. So, it's always on. So we don't need to associate it with a specific PL. We'll simply drag it onto the sheet. So it's always on. The sheet, that is. And there it sits as under abilities P. So, traits, small 1. Small is an interesting one. I've got it hard-coded. Traits. But I'm kind of waffling between doing 1, 2, and 3 and just this with a modifier if it's needing the modifier. For now, I'll simply create it small 1. Now, does that change? Yes, in PL2 it becomes small 2, so I need to drag it onto the PLs, not onto the sheet. So, small 1 reduces the character size by 0.5, that's a system thing. Levels don't stack. And this one has the description for level 1, already built. Ancestry traits, and it's always on. So we will drag small 1 onto PL1, but it gets replaced in PL2 with small 2, and that stays for small 3, PL3. So small 2 goes there, small 2 goes there. Next, extra mode of movement, climb. Good enough. Extra mode of movement. Now, this is for all of them, so it's going to go here, and I'm just going to do the standard. Now there's nowhere else to note it on the sheet other than in Ancestry Traits. Oh, there are different levels? Interesting. I'm going to have to open up the core rules and check that. I don't think there are levels. You can switch it to a new mode of movement. Choose. No worries. That's clear enough. Climb. What else do we have? Natural weapon. And it shows that it's a rat bite. So we'll take natural weapon 1 and just drag it over. And we will call it it's for all 3 of them? Yeah, it doesn't change. So natural weapon 1 bite. Yeah, there are other levels. So we don't need to worry about this because you've already done it in the stats. Which means that I can go to all items, create an attack called bite. And it is going to be hand to hand? I think it is hand to hand in all cases. So PL1 don't have it. Maybe that's a typo. Maybe it should be in there in PL1, but I'll do it as written. Base defense, it damages 2. Piercing. No range, no ammo. Equipment name, yes, because this is where the display is. Combat. Attacks. Now it's not going to open ones, we got to create one. So equipment. Yeah. So quantities 1, encumbrance cost, and the equipment name has to be the same as it is on the attack. Qualities. The qualities are one-handed, light, and piercing. Okay. And as soon as we added that, they show up here. And I don't think we need any other notes. Byte. Yep, that opens the equipment like it's supposed to. All good. While we're on equipment, they have a short bow and a short sword. Now let's finish with traits. So that was small, natural weapon 1, extra mode of movement, flaws, coward, and nervous above ground. Flaws. Coward. And that's for all of them. So it's already set up as a reset and a condition or status, and it's coward, colon, and then the condition, in danger. And that will show up under flaws, mental. Now, nervous. Is nervous it is. Okay. So this one has a condition of above ground, suffer 1 hardships. Okay, so that's fairly obvious. We'll convert it to a modifier. Create a hardship. Now, it's a hardship for everything. So first a condition, reset after each roll. We might want to leave that one alone. No, if they're above ground, they can reset it if they're going to be above ground for a long time. So we'll just add above ground. We're not going to add it there because that's in the compendium. We are going to add it once it's over here. The other one was just with a colon, wasn't it? Good enough. So, skills, attacks, magic, defenses, and saves. That covers everything. And we'll change the root item so it does the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Attacks, magic, defenses, saves. There. So that'll go back into the core content. Alright, so that's nervous above ground. We have small 2 already sorted out, and an ability that they gain is hard to hit 1 at PL3. Abilities again. Hard to hit 1, we'll have a quick look at it. Yeah, it's an always on, adding to your base defense. PL3. Okay, then we have short bow and short sword. Weapons. Short sword. Yes. Okay, they always have short swords. So we'll drop it on the character. Now here's a trick. Right now we have the container on there, but these guys always have short swords. So what we'll do is we'll simply deploy them, but we'll deploy them twice, and then we'll delete it. And that leaves a copy on the sheet. There's the equipment. And in combat, you have the melee piercing, slashing, and should be a defense, short sword parry. All good. Okay, now for the short bow. Deploy once, deploy twice. And delete. Okay. Two-handed, no reload ranged. Okay. And that is, apart from doing up an image for the thing, that's how you create one. And I suppose we could start them with the PL1 stuff deployed. And then we know that they've got their combat abilities. Ooh, nice base defense. Good enough. They're done.